how did you encourage them to take part? Your response rate, obviously we'll get onto that in a bit more detail, but 70% response rate, which just for people watching this, average response rate for a deskless industry is probably about 60 to 65%. So to get 74% is really, really good. So yeah, how did you go about encouraging responses?
Yeah, so I was massively inspired by still the greatest program that's ever been on telly, The West Wing. And they talk about a message calendar trying to get re-elected. And essentially it's the idea that you just talk about the same thing whenever you have the opportunity, you know, not in front of the press. We weren't doing the press room in the White House quite so much, but any opportunity. So briefings, you know, company emails, newsletters, one-to-ones, individual as well as group communications. We really set a sort of a 5-week program on a communications calendar where this would really be what the company spoke about, what every manager spoke about to their teams, so that there was no one who could claim that they hadn't heard of it. You know, it was a real sort of combined collaborative effort. So this kind of boots on the ground approach where you start with the idea that it's communicated in everything that you do. So if it's a one-to-one, you know, don't forget what we've talked about today was really important, but you'll have a chance to give further feedback if you didn't feel like saying anything to me in this survey. Make sure you do it in team briefings, so always making it a point to make sure everyone was aware of that, and not just doing it once but over and over again. You need repetition. And then for the 3 weeks of the survey, again, it was this team of canvassers going up and down all of the locations. So whether that is just in London or whether it's across sites, if it's a area chef going to train someone, they can talk about it. If it's an ops manager going somewhere, if it's one of your people team, whoever it is traveling around those buildings, it's when they're there to make sure they ask people, have you had your chance yet? Have you filled in that survey? You know, it's really important. You've got to do that. And then having the weekly completion figures allows you to focus that where it's needed towards the end. So those sites that are, you know, we benchmarked 70% as where we wanted to achieve, and it was fantastic to get 74. But in the last week, it did feel a bit like an election campaign, you know, knocking on managers' doors. Have you completed the survey? Have your teams, you know, has everyone done it?
Yeah, I think as well, it's the managers, and I guess it can't all fall on you as a HR team. Like, you need to make sure you've got the managers buy-in, and like, you can't do it all. Absolutely,
yeah. Letting go was a big thing personally for me, like a learning point. I think when you know, I'm very passionate about these things, and I believe it can be done. I believe it can be done in this way, and you know, I think naturally you just want to hold the process. You want to communicate the process yourself to everyone. You want to make sure they get the same enthusiastic sort of passion about it for reasons. So you know, it would have been impossible for me to do that with a company of the size on my own. So you really do have to kind of let other people just do it. And actually, it's I look back and go, well, why wouldn't you? That's madness to try and do it. By well, I can have a team of 30 people to help me. Brilliant. Definitely bring the enthusiasm, bring the idea, but then work with your team. Ultimately, I think as an office, we're a resource. We're there to help the sites. We're there to basically support whatever it is we're offering our customers. So it makes sense that everyone gets behind it.